Okay, so I just wanted to start this recording from this angle because instead of the zoomed in angle, because I wanted you to see the whiteboard back there, which is now at $750 as opposed to $630. Of course, I changed it to update with the Tiltify page because I said I would donate $120 last time I did a video when I beat Tar, Truth and Reconciliation, without dying, and I'm happy to have done that, and I donated. Originally, I promised 100. I did 120 because Otrako, I appreciated his donation, so I've been donating more lately because he donated. So, anyways, a little bit of backstory. If you don't know what I'm doing here, I'm trying to play all of the Halo games on Legendary without dying, which is going to be one hell of a task. I'm still on Halo 1, just practicing right now, but I'm trying to do it, and meanwhile, I'm trying to raise money for cancer. The goal is going to be $10,000, which I am willing to raise on the spot if people start to take more interest and start to donate more to this campaign. But for now, it's $10,000 for me to beat every single campaign on Legendary without dying. This includes Reach, ODST, and all the 343 games. Not Halo Wars or Spartan... not Spartan Ops. Well, not Spartan Ops either, but I can't remember the name of the other game. But anyways, one of the spin-off ones that 343 headed, I'm not doing that one. But the first-person shooter main titles, I'm doing all of them on Legendary without dying, or at least I'm trying to do them all on Legendary without dying. And again, goal $10,000. The goal for Halo 1 is 1,250. I want to get to 1,250 before or around the time that I beat Halo 1 without dying. So that's what I'm practicing right now. I beat Mission 3 recently, so I'm going and playing Mission 4. Mission 4 is easy. I've beaten it plenty of times on Legendary without dying. I've been struggling so far today because I've already tried to record this once. Hold on, let me zoom this camera in back to the way I had it before. Stand up, cancer. There it is. Okay, there's the way I like to have the camera. Anyways, I've been recording this podcast for approximately 30 minutes already, and I completely scrapped it and restarted because I'm talking about important subjects, and it got to a point where this video was going to have to be way too edited because I kept stopping and stuttering and saying things that sounded bad because I just couldn't think. So, I'm not going to start talking just yet about it because I want to pass this first part. This first part has for some reason been jogging my brain, making it hard for me to talk. So I'm not going to get into the subjects that I want to talk about yet. But today is going to have some sadder topics in it. I'm not sad, I'm personally unaffected and just kind of playing some Halo and talking about some important topics, but the topics themselves are decently sad and for the average listener, and definitely very heartbreaking for some people out there, none of which I know. Again, it's not a personal story that affects me, but oh my god, the grunts in this first section just constantly, they just throw grenades. It's very annoying. Did I just get shot at from behind? Excuse me, this elite is alive? And he's still alive. There's still Marines alive. I want to restart, but I shouldn't yet. But yeah, this is why I need to focus, because now I'm just getting pissed off at this part. Just surely the number of times I've done this opening scene, and I've passed it. Like, it's not like I'm dying at it. I've only died at it once, but I've played it like 7 times now, because every time I reach the end of it, all the Marines are dead. Get out of my way, Marine! I will kill you myself if I have to, because there's still like 3 or 4 of them left. Oh man, I am very rusty today. I don't know why. Like, it hasn't been that long since I played. It's been 2 days since I beat Mission 3. I decided to take a bit of a break.
Music to my ears, Bowhammer.
Did only 1 Marine survive? Okay, no, 2 survived. Okay, anyway, back to, or starting with important topics. So, a YouTuber, Technoblade, died from cancer recently. Definitely not today when this video comes out, and I'm not sure if it's today as of the day of me recording this, but I'm not generally sure, but I know that happened very recently, and I've never even seen a video of his. I've never seen his face. I know so little about him that I don't even know if he ever showed his face on his channel or online ever in general. And I'm not saying that to distance myself from the conversation necessarily, but I am making sure that you know that I have very little input to this whatsoever. It's just I'm an observer from the sidelines who had some friends who watched him and they told me about it, and that's why I'm talking about it. But what I do know, based on what I looked up about the situation before this, is that he was only 23 years old, which is tragic. That's just, it's awful, and it's a terrible reminder that cancer is ruthless and horrible, and it can affect so many people, types of people, like young, healthy people that you would think that would, you know, be borderline impervious to it, and even if they got it, would be able to make it through it. And although most can, sometimes that obviously happens. I want to back up on what I just said and not make it sound like I'm trying to say something offensive, like he couldn't have made it through it. I just mean like, most people do, I guess. Most people who get, well, I'm talking very presumptuously, because that also depends on the type of cancer, because different types of cancer are much more aggressive or much more lethal than others, and so that really just depends. But generally speaking, cancer, as far as I know, also doesn't show up in younger people as much, because it's something that can, I don't know if I can't call it inevitable, but most people do end up developing cancer at some point in their lifetime. But with most people, it is later in life, when their body begins to break down and stuff like that. And so I guess that's the point. It's a bit more shocking when someone so young gets cancer and also loses the fight against it. And I don't in any way, again, want to act like I have some valuable input on this situation. I just wanted to mention it, talk about it, because it reminds us how important the fight is against cancer, because I am only 19 years old, and I don't say that to get myself involved with the situation. None of it is about me, but I say that because a 19-year-old, me, is only 4 years younger than someone who just died from cancer. You know, again, something that's generally a debilitating disease that we associate with killing older people, and I don't mean like super old people, but I don't know, middle-aged. Middle-aged to older is what I generally associate it with. Obviously that didn't happen, and it's just, it's a shock to, I think, everyone when that happens, and most of all, obviously, the people who knew Technoblade, and I don't know his real name. I also don't know the type of cancer that he died from. I'm sure it's probably known out there somewhere, but I didn't want to look it up. I mean, I did look it up briefly, but I didn't want to look any further into it than that, because I did see that he kind of kept that close to his chest, what cancer he was suffering from, and I kind of wanted to respect that. I don't know what it was, but I just don't want to spread information about it if he didn't want to. Lost my train of thought for a second of what the next thing I was going to say was. Oh, of course. Donating against the cause against cancer. Not to my specific cause. I mean, that's not important at all. Well, not important at all. It is important to me if you donate to my fight against cancer, because it's going to motivate me to do this useless and pointless thing that I'm doing. But also, more than that, it's going to make me feel like I'm, you know, encouraging people to do some really good stuff in the world. And I would appreciate that very much, but outside of that, and you shouldn't care about what I feel or what I think, outside of that, just donating in general, I think, is the important thing, not who you donate to. Now, the cancer does matter, yes, because certain cancers might not be as credible as you think they are, or whatever. Do your research, or just donate to certain cancer organizations, or just organizations in general. It doesn't have to be about cancer. But if you can give to stuff you believe in, please do, and do so with whatever advent you want to, whether it be buying food and giving it to you know, people in need, or whatever, you know, whatever route you want to go about it. If you can, I implore you to do so. I have no say over what you do, so I'm just requesting some random guy on the internet, but it's a very good thing to do, and especially in the case of cancer, when it's a global fight, a very humanizing thing, a unifying, humanizing fight. I don't know if I'm using the word humanizing correctly, but I just mean, you know, something that we all can suffer from. We all probably have some experience with, you know, knowing someone that it's happened to, or something of the sort. And the unluckiest of us have personally experienced it. So, it's something that, beyond just something that could happen to everyone, I believe most people actually do have experience with, in some way. I have 2 family members who have gone through cancer. I personally wasn't too affected by it, because both of them went through it before I was born, but I do have 2 family members in my extended family who have gone through cancer, and I feel like that's very normal. Which is sad that that's normal. For pretty much anyone on Earth can say that they know someone who has been through cancer. Or even worse, that they know someone who cancer got the best of them, and they once knew them, or maybe they never got the chance to meet them because they died before they were born, or whatever the case may be, but they lost the fight to cancer. And again, I feel like that's commonplace. Those stories, everyone knows someone. And that's a very sad thing. So I think that it is a very good way to give. If you're looking for a way to give, it's a very good way to do it. Stand Up to Cancer is a great place to do it. St. Jude, great place to do it. There are a lot of good ones out there. So do whichever one makes you feel the best about what you're doing, and makes you feel like it's going to make the greatest impact. That is completely up to you. I just would like to encourage you to do it. For my own vanity's sake, please do. If this video encourages you to donate in any way, please do let me know, like in the comments. Please come back here and let me know that you did it. That is purely for my sake and my vanity, so don't do that if you don't want to, but I do request it because it's important to me. What I'm doing here, the whole point is that I want to encourage people to donate to cancer. And I would like to know, or not donate to, like, to the fight against cancer, of course that's what I meant, but not that specifically, but encourage you to give in general. And if I succeed in doing that, I really want to know that I'm succeeding in doing that. Big old monologue, but that is most certainly the vanity part of this, is that I want to know if I'm succeeding in this endeavor. So please do let me know. Got some rowdy big boys up here. So the next thing I want to talk about, of course, related onto the same subject, but is not about Technoblade, is, I guess, something a little bit more lighthearted, not more directly to the point, but I don't know why I said directly to the point. That has nothing to do with it. More, it involves people who are experience of people and talking about people who are still alive, for one, and also is just a more, I guess, optimistic part of the subject. But I do think I want to share this because it is something that when I heard this, I thought it was very important. So I don't know them very well, but I met someone who has survived cancer. I don't know what cancer, I don't know how bad it was, but they have said that there were points where it got very bad. And I'm very grateful with this person for everything that they shared with me, and the fact that they were willing to do it, because I was asking some questions about, well, the conversation started with me asking some questions about what is some ways they would have liked to have been talked to, or some ways they would have liked to have been treated when they were going through cancer, and when that was happening, because I feel like that's very important information, because this fight needs to be made as easy or as palatable as possible for the people who have to go through this. And I feel like it's our job as the healthy ones out there to, just as fellow human beings, even if we don't know the person that well, to try and, you know, spread that. Try and help these people out. I mean, because they're going through something very hard that we might all one day have to go through. Well, not all, but statistically speaking, but a large percentage of people do eventually get cancer in their lifetime. So, you know, it's something that we're all eventually going to have to go through. I would hope that people would do the same for me. So, of course, I'm going to do the same for other people that are going through this, or I'm going to do my best to make it as easy as possible for them. And just immediate thing, this probably isn't exactly uncommon knowledge, but just immediate thing, the immediate response I got was, don't talk to the person or treat them differently. Like this particular person said that they felt like they were treated like they were fragile by people around them, and they did not like that. And this conversation was not very long. I would like to make that clear. So I'm not going to extrapolate anything upon what this person said. I'm just going to say what they said and also give my thoughts on it. But I'm going to make a clear distinction between the two, because I do not want to put words in anyone's mouth. So I do have thoughts on the matter, of course. I am a human being with opinions, but they don't necessarily matter. But the most important thing is what this person had to say about all of this. So anyways, that was the first and immediate thing. But the conversation drifted a little bit, and I'm glad it did, because I heard some other news that I found interesting. It's just something I hadn't thought about happening personally, because I've never had the experience or been around someone who's been in a very, very deeply bad state of cancer, and I don't know how bad it was for this person. Again, I don't know the extent. I didn't extensively talk about it with them. Okay, so I want to rewind a little bit. I don't know how much I just cut out of what I just said, but I wanted to go back and reread the messages that I had with this person, because I wanted to make sure I was getting this information right. So basically what they said was that there was a point where they, and some of this I might have already said it, but they got to a critical point, and it was kind of up in the air whether or not the treatment was going to work, and people around this person kind of acted as though they had given up, and it made this person feel like they should give up too, in at least some way. Again, I don't want to extrapolate too much off of that. That's pretty much word for word what they said to me. And that just made me start to think, you know, something I hadn't thought about is, and again, it's very clear and understandable to me. I'm not saying it's difficult to comprehend or something, that you shouldn't act like that around someone who is going through a critical or very difficult fight. But regardless, I just hadn't thought about it because I didn't personally have any experiences with someone who had been to that point or anything of the sort, or met anyone who had. So it made me think about it in a way that I hadn't before, just how important it is that the people around you, when you're suffering from that how important it can be that they are supportive and that they don't lose hope. Because if they lose hope, it's only going to make it harder for you if you're going through it. And that was a little eye-opening for me, just because I hadn't thought about it in that way. Again, it's a very simple thing, but I just wanted to mention that because I do think it is very important for people out there. Because it's not over till it's over.
Let's move down the beach.
And
keep an eye out for any cargo we can
I feel like, especially if you're not the person suffering through it, you should do your best, no matter how grim it looks. Do your absolute best to truly understand that it's not over till it's over. Even if it looks hopeless or it looks very up in the air, it's not over till it's over. There is always a chance. Naive of me to say that? Maybe it is completely naive of me to say that. But I just think that regardless of what happens with the person who is suffering from cancer, they should not have to live the last moments of their life, or the last however long of their life, thinking that the people around them have lost hope and accepting that they're going to die as if it's a fact. You know, I feel like they shouldn't have to do that. They should have your support, full way have your support to the very end, unless there is a complete verdict that, you know, it's terminal. And if I understand the meaning of terminal cancer correctly, it means that there is no coming back from it, unless that term is used, if that term means what I think it does. If there's a different term that is meaning, you know, it's impossible to be cured or survive, then that would be different. But as far as I understand it, oh, I might die. Okay, I'm fine. But if that term means what I think it does, then unless that term is stated, then I think that the people around, any of you who are around someone who's suffering, you shouldn't, I'm not saying you shouldn't show that you might be losing faith, because it's not even something I think necessarily you can control. You know, your true thoughts will leak through. Humans read each other very well, for the most part. Some people are better at it than others, but I think in general, we human beings are pretty good at reading each other, and our emotions. So, just, I mean, actually do your best to actually understand that it isn't over till it's over, no matter how grim it looks. That's what I think about it. Because it's your belief in someone who's going through possibly terminal cancer, or going towards what looks like might be going towards terminal cancer. Your belief in them, no matter how bad it looks, is at the very least going to make the last, however long they have left, the last part of their life, a little bit better. You know, keep hope alive, and then if they reach a point where they know they can't come back from it, then you worry about other ways of making them, you know, enjoy the last part of their life. But I don't know, hope is a very important thing, because also hope is going to allow a person to, you know, have more motivation to fight against what they're going through. And that is, of course, incredibly important, because if you have no hope, then it's going to make it that much harder. If you've given up hope and you're confronted with a point where if you pushed with, and this is not just talking about cancer, this is stuff in general, if you give up hope that you can do something, and you reach a point where you don't even realize that if you push a little bit harder, it could tip the scales and make you much more likely to survive or succeed in whatever you're doing. But if you don't have hope and you decide to give up at that point, or even if it's not a conscious decision, but just a mental effect that it has on you, where you slowly begin to give up, I mean, that could actually make the difference. There is actual, like, psychology actually does affect physical health. As to how that relates to cancer, psychology does actually affect physical health. And how you feel about yourself and how you think does actually affect you physically. Maybe not profoundly all the time, but when you're talking about fighting cancer, especially if it's extreme, every little bit can help. So again, I say, a decree from someone who's very inexperienced, so take this for what you will, but it's not over till it's over. And I do think that anyone who knows someone, is close to someone who is going through this, please do your best to hold out hope, and show them that you're holding out hope until you know for a fact that's not the case, that they're not going to be able to pull through. And then, of course, I don't even know, I don't have any advice for that. I don't know how you possibly handle something like that. That's a whole nother ballgame. That kind of information and that kind of struggle. You know, knowing that someone is going to die, or knowing that you're going to die within a certain amount of time, and that it will probably be painful towards the end, if it isn't already. And I only say isn't already because of, like, pain meds and stuff like that, but pain meds be damned. I know that cancer is a painful death, almost no matter what you do. Even with a lot of pain meds, it's probably going to be painful in some way. So just at that point, do whatever you can for that person, or if you are that person. I don't know. I genuinely don't have any advice for that, and I don't know that anyone could have a lot of valid advice for that, except for someone who's been through that type of thing. Who's known someone, or who has been very close to the brink and come back from it. They would probably have some very helpful advice as well. Me? No, I'm just some random guy trying to raise money to help. I want to do my part to help, but I don't know what I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things. And, again, I don't have personal experience with this, so please do take this with a grain of salt. Damn it. I like to sneak through this part, but I'm clearly failing to do that. Gonna have to drop the RPG for a sec. This is actually the first time I've failed to sneak through this section. It's really easy to sneak through. I just hit that grunt way too late. Okay, so there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I'm not sure, and I feel like I went in a little over my head in that last topic. You know, just giving my opinion on things that I honestly have no right to give my opinion on because I haven't experienced them. I'm just doing so in a hope of, you know, encouraging, I guess, hopeful attitudes in that area, because I know that that is important to people who are going through it, just from the talks that I have had with that person that I met, and I just hope that this advice somehow helps. In the grand scheme of things, I don't know how it will, especially since I don't have influence, really, over people at all, but if there's one thing you take from this channel, I hope that it is this whole attempt that I'm doing, and you know, maybe some of the information I'm spreading that's hopefully for the better about this whole topic. If there's anything you take from my entire channel, I hope that that is it. Easy peasy. Right, there was something I wanted to talk about regarding video quality of late. You might have noticed, not in yesterday's video, not in yesterday's video, but not in the most recent podcast, but you might have noticed that the video quality actually dropped significantly when I first started doing these podcasts for my normal gaming stuff, because I actually didn't notice this until I had already recorded the first 4 podcasts, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't change it until the 5th, I think. I didn't notice, but there actually, there was actually extreme lag. So the way I was recording it before was I was recording my game audio, as well as my game footage, as well as my face, all on the same OBS app, and then I was recording my vocal audio on a black screen, you know, not recording any visuals. I was recording my audio separately. And that just was an easy way to balance it, I felt like, because it just made editing easier for me and faster, and so that's why I wanted to do that, and I just had to sync up the audio and I was good to go. It meant I didn't have to mess with putting, you know, my camera in a specific spot or anything like that. I was just able to plug in the footage and go, and make sure the audio was synced and go, which it really isn't that much difference. It just meant I didn't have to mess with moving around. Oh, by the way, hold on, let me pause real quick, because I just realized my face has been blurry like this entire time, because I told my camera to focus on the board back there when I had the zoomed out shot, and I forgot to make it zoom back on me, so hello, welcome back. I'm now not blurry. But, so I recently realized, because I was having issues. I can't remember the first syncing issue that I noticed when I was recording that way, but I was having syncing issues. I wanted to originally record all of the audio together, but I couldn't do that, because with recording my camera audio that I have, and sometimes I don't fix it, sometimes I forget to fix it, but my camera audio, sadly, is lagging behind, I want to say. My camera audio is lagging behind the camera footage, I think. Or no. The camera footage is lagging behind the audio. That's what it is. And it's about 13 frames, so it is noticeable if I don't fix it. It is most certainly noticeable. Now, it's not excruciatingly painful to watch, by my opinion, but it is noticeable, and I don't like it that it happens. But it's something I have to fix every single time. I've checked OBS settings. You can put delays on certain recordings, but you can only put delays on the video recording. You cannot put delays on the audio recording, which is what I need to do, because the video recording is what is already behind. So making the video recording lag behind would just make the lag worse, not better. And it doesn't allow me to put a lag on the audio recording, sadly. So what I was doing was I was separating the audio, because it made it a bit easier to deal with that problem as well. That's why I was separating specifically the audio and recording things separately, because instead of just recording it all together, I mean, that's why I couldn't do that. But although I really wanted to keep the recording process as simple as possible, because I wanted these to be really chill videos for me to make and pump out easily. Sadly, I couldn't do that, because I discovered that for some reason the video game footage and audio were synced up to each other, but they were not synced up to my camera audio. And it makes sense, because the camera lags behind, but it seemed like it lagged behind significantly more when I was recording in this fashion, because it was incredibly noticeable. It was several seconds. I believe my camera was behind, and so something would happen, and I would react several seconds after it happened. It was close enough that I didn't notice it in general editing until the 4th episode, but I did eventually catch it. And I realized that I would say something and it didn't quite line up, and I tried to fix that, but it was difficult, because I realized that if I was going to fix that, I would have to, in order to change the footage, I would have to move the footage back, but I couldn't separate my footage from, I actually did in podcast episode 4, and I'll get to that in a second, but I couldn't separate the game footage from my footage easily. It created more work for myself, essentially, and again, I didn't notice until the 4th podcast. So on the 4th podcast, I finally, did some work, and I cropped the entire footage of the entire video, pasted it on top of it, playing over itself, and then I cropped out my face that was in the corner from it, and then delayed that by, or did whatever I needed to do with that. I don't think it was a delay, but I did what I needed to do with that to bump it up a few seconds to make it, usable and not delayed and all that sorts of stuff that was annoying me and causing the quality of the videos to drop. But anyways, the whole point of all that is I'm back to recording in my standard way now, where I just record my mic audio and my face audio together, and my game and my audio and my game visuals together, synced up. Sorry, I'm not able to talk right now for some reason. That's the way I normally do it, and that's the way I'm doing it right now. It just means that I do have to sync up the camera audio to the camera visuals, which is a bit annoying sometimes, because it's really hard to tell sometimes the way the lag is working, and it's not consistent. The lag doesn't seem to be consistent. Sometimes it's a few different so like I can't just pop in to the editing software and immediately, do so many frames back on this and boom, problem fixed. I have to re-diagnose it every time because it's a few frames different. And again, it's not that big of a deal. I just was trying to find a way to eliminate it, and I failed in doing so. So here I am, recording in the same way I used to. Glad I didn't fire just then. I didn't do anything. Cool, good to know. That was a complete waste of a rocket. We're getting close to the end of this mission, just about done, and I've talked about everything I planned on, so I'm now actually looking for topics. I don't know. I mean, this episode's kind of been talking about, like, cancer-related things the entire time, and I would love to stick to that theme, but I don't have anything off the top of my head that I can really contribute to this whole conversation. Can't think of anything. I'll get back to you on that, but right now I'm going to focus on these jackals, which I have to say, this part, I don't understand why this part puts so many jackals. It really loves to do that. Okay, that's where I'm being fired at from. Come on now. This is just eating up my magnum ammo. This is bad. Come on. There we go. Finally. This is ridiculous. I hate these jackals. And I'm not using a plasma pistol because I want the RPG for this part up here. This next part. This next part's actually pretty rough. I think the jackals usually lead the charge. But if it's just a grunt... Cool frag I just used there. I got a grunt too. Nice. Okay, well it's not as hairy as I expected. I could have easily done all of this with a without the RPG. I also just like having an excuse to use the RPG because it's not a weapon I'm, generally speaking, going to use through most of the campaign. And this mission is easy enough where I can use it without much consequence. This past week has been weird for me. I guess I can talk about that a little bit. Not like in terrible ways, but I've just I've been both busier in some ways than I anticipated, and also more free of time than I anticipated in others, and I've spent that time doing some things that I haven't been able to do in a while, like playing Magic the Gathering with some friends of mine, and I love that game to death, and I want to make videos about it as well, but at the same time, oh, close to death here. I'm just having to spam the RPG now. Don't have a choice. Because I knew there were a lot of jackals in here, and I don't have magnum ammo. Have to get to that magnum ammo. Okay. I don't know why, but I'm determined to finish this mission with the magnum in hand. I don't remember how to get out of here, if I'm being honest. I think it is over here, actually, because I came up from there. Yeah, so it's over here. Somewhere. But, like, I've slacked off on video making and practicing Halo, like, since I beat Mission 3. Like, I've just kind of... I've been doing a lot of other stuff. So I've been slacking off on this, and I don't like that I've been doing that. In fact, I think I can say one of the things I thought about today on my way to work, actually, is that in my life right now, I pretty much have everything I generally speaking, like, want, except the fact that I'm not doing everything I want to do, or that I wish I would be doing. Outside of that, I have pretty much everything going for me right now. It's my own fault, I guess, is that, because I felt weird, like I felt like something was wrong, and I analyzed that about, like, in my mind on my way to work today, and because things have been better lately, because I've got to be honest, I had a rough few weeks, like the past several weeks, but this past week has been significantly better, and, or not even the past full week, but the past like 4 or 5 days have been significantly better, and so I wanted to analyze why I still felt like there was something wrong, even though I felt like things were really going my way, and it's purely because, at least I think, purely because I'm not acting the way I wish I would sometimes, just with, like, I'm being lazy, you know. One day I just sat there and, Cool. Perfect end to this mission. I blew him closer to me with the RPG, and I couldn't fire again or he'd kill me. I'm not playing it again. I know I can beat this mission. That was literally the last enemy of the mission. Actually, no, there were some camo elites I still had to fight. I'm not playing this mission again. I've beat it several times. In the next practice podcast, you'll see me beat it. I'm not doing another take of this. I need to go to bed because it's already 1 a.m. Like I said, I've been slacking off, and I need to edit and upload this video for tomorrow, or I guess today, technically. So, and I also, like I said, I don't want to do another take, that's for certain, because I said this a lot better than I did the first time, where I was stumbling over myself constantly. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Please do donate to Stand Up to Cancer through my campaign, or any campaign, or find other cancer, like, donation sites, or just any cancer, or, I mean, any charity you believe in. Wow, I cannot speak, and I look like an idiot today, but you know what? That's just par for the course today, so I'm just going to go with it. Again, thank you for watching. Please do donate if you can, and definitely if you want to. You don't have to do it to mine, again, but I would greatly appreciate it. And if this video encourages you to donate elsewhere, please do let me know, because I would also greatly appreciate that. Just a comment letting me know that it encouraged you to do so, and you did so. It would make me feel incredible that this is having any type of effect like that on people. So, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. A full attempt will be coming soon. I actually want to beat Mission 3 again. I'm not going to do a full attempt before I do that again. I'm not going to wait until after I beat Mission 3 again before I do another, like, full attempt. But I am soon. There's going to be a actual number 2 full LHCC attempt on Halo CE, where I start on Mission 1 and see how far I can get. I want to do one more actual attempt like that, and then shortly after that you'll probably see some different types of attempts coming out, which give me a little bit more leeway for practice purposes, just so I can get better at it. Actually, those will probably be in practice podcasts, though, to be honest. Anyways, okay, so thank you for watching again for the 3rd time, and I will catch you in the next one. And also thank you for sticking through my terrible talking, because I've been all over the place today. Today's been weird. I actually had to stop at work at some point and ask myself, like, what the heck is going on, because I, like, was messing up so much at work today. I don't know what's going on with me today, so I apologize for that. But if you're still here, or if you even remotely watched through this video, thank you so much for doing that, because today's been a weird one.